All right, so we're going to be dividing fractions today. If you'll go ahead and write this at the top of your page in your notes, we're going to be dividing fractions today. And I want us to make sure we understand what's happening when we're being asked to divide fractions. Feel free to have some colored pencils out because we're going to be doing a little bit of shading today. If we were to look at this question here, this task, where it says 2 divided by 1/4. It's important that we understand what we're actually asking here is how many 1/4 are in 2 whole bars. So here's 2 whole bars. I'll move it back up, sorry. Here are 2 whole bars. And what we're going to be doing here today is really looking at how many quarters or 1/4 pieces are in our whole 2 bars. So to look at this, we want to look at those 2 bars that we should have drawn in our notes. And we want to make sure we understand that 1/4 means of 1 bar is divided into 4 equal pieces. Thank goodness for dry erase. 4 equal, still not equal. Hopefully you're writing with pencil. 4 equal pieces. Good job, Nils. So the question that's being asked here is how many fourths are in 2 whole bars? So what would the answer be here, guys? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the answer there. This is dividing a fraction using a model, okay? But as our learning objective says for today, we're going to be looking at how to solve using an algorithm, which is probably the way you've always divided fractions. We want to make sure you're able to do that here. So by algorithm, we're still going to stay with this problem, 2 divided by 1/4. What's going to be helpful here is if we write all of our whole numbers over 1. It's going to be helpful if we write all of our whole numbers over 1. Does anyone remember what our first step is when we're dividing fractions? What's step 1? We got 2 over 1 divided by 1 over 4. What's going to be the first thing we need to do here? Katarina? Oh. Okay, so you just cross multiplied. Okay, so here's what we want to do here. You want to change that division sign to a multiplication sign. And you're going to flip the second fraction or change it to its reciprocal. Okay, that flipped fraction there is its reciprocal. And then, step 1 was to change the sign. Step 2 was to change the reciprocal of the second problem. Step 3, you're going to multiply. And multiplying fractions is always the easiest thing in the whole wide world. 2 times 4 is 8. Or 8 over 1. We could have pulled those ones over as well. And step 4 is always going to be to, even though it doesn't count here, or it's not necessary here, to simplify if needed. So those are our 4 main steps to dividing fractions. So as a 6th grade mathematician, it's important that we're able to look at the model. We know what's happening, but we want to be able to solve using this algorithm. Okay? Let's look at our next example, or really our first example. Let's move into our guided practice. We're going to move into our first example here. 3/4 divided by 2. 3/4 divided by 2. You do not. You want to solve using the algorithm. Use those 4 steps that we've written down to solve this. Remember that 4th step, to simplify if needed. Jeremy, tell me what the first thing is we're going to do here with this problem. Which is what? What's its reciprocal, sweetie? Good job. That's fine, my bad. I added it instead. Do I need to simplify this? How do I know I can't simplify this? There are no factors. There are no common factors here. I want you to think back at Thursday's work where we used GCF to simplify fractions. That's what I'm looking for here. Are there any common factors between that numerator and denominator? Example B. What should our quotient have been? 5/12. 5/12. Examples C and D. I'll freeze the screen while I work them out for us. So you can go ahead and get to work as well. Remember to put that whole number over a 1. So let's look at my work on C. Am I correct? Madeline, what did Miss Neville do wrong on C? You're correct. I am wrong. What did I do wrong here? And the work is over here. What did I do wrong here? Dakota, help her out. What did I do wrong here? Nope, 2 over 1 needs to be there. Yep, no, I put that whole number over a 1. Kaylee? I didn't flip my reciprocal of my second one. So if I flip that reciprocal, like Miss Stripling says to do, if I flip that reciprocal, what should I get? Or 6. Could have just wrote 6. Yeah. And then when we're looking at D here, I did do it correctly. I learned from my mistake. Is this my final answer? So what this is saying to me, 24 divided by 3. Or, write this in your notes, please. 24 divided by 3. So in other words, 3 times what is going to equal 24? And what would that be, class? 8. So I want us to check to make sure we understand the simple computation of dividing fractions. And then we're going to move into word problems, dividing fractions as word problems. In your notes, please, if you would please go to, or on your laptops, if you would please go to our Schoology page. We're moving into our pink week 5 folder. I'm not opening it. Okay, and today we're going to be working on dividing fractions. You're going to have, I think, 6 problems where you're going to turn your work in today. So if you want to take out a piece of notebook paper and divide it into 6 sections, number each of those sections. Number each of those sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to make sure it's 6 problems. It may be 9. I think it's 6 though. Yep. Okay. Be sure to read the directions there at how you're going to choose your fraction answer. Okay. Please go ahead and get to work. You have 10 minutes.